Shout out to G-Man Boxing. Where's the piss bottle? It's over there.
In the subsequent interview following the fight last night between Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos Jr., Teofimo Lopez, interrupted quite abruptly the interview with Kambosos to say that he felt he won the fight and that everyone knows it. And I found it quite funny because everyone in that arena was cheering Teofimo Lopez on his way to the ring. When he came out with that statement, the entire arena erupted in boos. So that kind of tells you everything about this fight and who actually won the fight. It was, for me, George Kambosos Jr. who won it. Alright, and I watched it again this morning. It's one of the good things about DAZN, I have to say, is that you don't have to go looking for, a video, and it might not be in good quality on Dailymotion or YouTube when you have the app, because you can just literally rewind, which is actually very handy, it has to be said. But I was rewatching it, and again, at the time I kind of thought there might have been a few kind of swing rounds in there, but when you rewatch it in the cold light of day, George Kambosos won that fight clearly. He absolutely won it clearly. I think that when I watched it live, I was kind of I was watching it kind of almost as if I was expecting Teofimo Lopez to win, whether he got it, whether he deserved it or not. And I was kind of looking at rounds thinking, well, Kambosos did enough in that round, but they'll probably give it to Teofimo. When I watched it back in the cold light of day, knowing the result, I was like, yeah, Kambosos is winning these rounds. I mean, there's really only one winner in this fight. And the fans obviously were able to see that because they booed Teofimo Lopez when he said that. And what Lopez said that I found very interesting was that he felt he amazingly won this fight 10 rounds to 2. People, elastic can't stretch that far. 10 rounds to 2. Are you mad? No. Well, you didn't win the fight. And the judge who had you win and had you winning by 1 point, and even that I find quite dubious. And even the judge who had Kambosos win at 115-112, he scored the first round 10-9 to Kambosos, which, yeah, Teofimo Lopez started out strong, but he didn't do enough to negate the point. You really have to put it on your opponent to negate the point if you get dropped down. If you get dropped, that sort of way. So, like, a good example would be Tony Bellew versus Lunga Makabu. Bellew dominated that first round, got dropped in the last 10 seconds. But he dominated that round apart from the knockdown. So you could argue that was a 10-9 round. But it wasn't anything like that in, this fight. That should have been a 10-8 round. So that I found that a bit dubious, I have to say. But for him to say he felt that he won a 10-2, I mean, maybe that was the heat of the moment. And then maybe upon further reflection, I doubt Teofimo Lopez is going to come out and say he lost it. That just doesn't seem like it's in his nature. But he might come out and say it's closer because, as I said, you can't even stretch elastic that far. 10 rounds to 2. I think part of the problem, and I was really surprised when I was listening into the corner, when I was watching it live and again this morning, how little Lopez Sr. was given to like, he made it out as though this was a rout. Teofimo Lopez was dropped by a very well-timed shot, and it was a very good shot. Now, he wasn't massively hurt by the shot, but, oh yeah, it's just a balance thing. Go out and finish him in the next round. I'm like, whoa. Red flag straight away. That wasn't a balance issue. Alright, it was a very good, very well-timed shot. Yeah, it was the flash knockdown. Teofimo wasn't massively hurt or anything like that. Yes, that's fine. You can say that. But to say it was balanced, and to say go out in the next round and finish him, Kambosos was taking them shots no problem. What made you think you were just going to go out and finish him? And the whole way through, rounds that Kambosos was winning clearly, like the 4th round, Teofimo Lopez goes back to the corner. Oh, you won that round clearly. It's like, well, what? No, he didn't. So I get the impression that Teofimo was hearing all that, was probably thinking, well, my dad's telling me I'm winning these rounds clearly, so I must be. And Teofimo, in that fight, he showed me something that, well, he didn't show me, actually, I should say. When the best fighters, the top fighters, are losing, they make adjustments. When things aren't going to plan, they're always able to adjust. You look at someone like Alexander Usyk, he can adjust. When things aren't going his way in a fight, or if it's a little bit trickier than it is, he can make adjustments. He can find different angles. He can do different things. Teofimo Lopez was looking to set up one shot all night, the right hand, and that was it. And he was still trying to set it up in the 12th round. He got through some at certain times, with Kambosos when, his defence was lacking a bit, and I think it was more down to fatigue. But it was the same thing over and over again. And he was getting countered by Kambosos Jr. He was looking to counter, and it was the same thing over and over and over again with no adjustments. I get the impression Lopez Sr. probably felt that he didn't need to make adjustments, that it was as clear as day who's winning this fight. And I think that's his downfall. Therein lies the problem. I said this at the time, that it reminded me a little bit of the Lyndon Arthurs Anthony Yard fight in a sense of the corner work, where you had Tunde Ajayi really animated. Oh, Anthony, bro, you're winning this clearly, to the point where when the fight was announced, and that was a lot closer. That was a lot closer, that fight. But to the point when it was announced and finished, you had Yard saying, well, I clearly won this fight. It's like, you're in the heat of the moment, so you're not going to get an accurate perception. But when you go back and rewatch it, you'll know it was a close fight. And he subsequently came out and said that. A large part of it is down to what's being said in the corner. I think Lopez Sr. done an appalling job. I mean, there needed to be urgency in there. They needed to change it up. I mean, Lopez's face was smashed to pieces. He was bleeding from the nose. He was like marked above that eye. He was cut above that eye. He was walking onto counters. Kambosos Jr. was outboxing him at certain points. His movement looked a little bit flat, and you could say maybe the weight was an issue. And look, don't get me wrong, I don't doubt that the weight did play a factor, potentially even in the knockdown, but it's not all down to that. Kambosos Jr. was a very good fighter. It was a variety of things. Let's make no mistake, but it was a variety of things. I think Teofimo was shocked by how much heart Kambosos had, how good his chin is, how good his own boxing skill is. Probably how hard Kambosos punches, because Kambosos is not a devastating puncher, but he doesn't appear to be feather fisted. There's power on them shots. I think it was a shock to the system. They really must have thought this is going to be like taking candy from a baby. It's a walk in the park. It's easy. It's easy. It's easy. Well, it wasn't. Kambosos showed. I said it in my prediction that Kambosos has skill. He's got ability there, but I felt it was too soon. I felt that this fight maybe happened 2 years later. And obviously Teofimo Lopez, that's implying he was still at lightweight. I'd be like, oh yeah, this could be interesting. But I felt maybe now it was too soon. I was wrong, evidently. And credit to Kambosos. I mean, he proved me incredibly wrong. I remember when this fight was announced originally last year, I was like, really? We're going to get this? Proved me definitively wrong. Take my hat off to the guy. 100%. Really, really did prove me completely wrong. Credit to him. So that's kind of the ins and outs of this. What does Lopez Jr. do from here? He's not going to change his team. If he goes around still thinking he won the fight, he'll learn nothing. If he's in a situation like that again, where a guy can take his shots, is countering him, and he still thinks he's winning, or Lopez Sr. still thinks he's winning, and they're not adjusting anything, that's going to come back to bite him again. It is. As the saying goes, those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. If he went in there and thought he did everything perfect, and he really in his heart of hearts believes he won 10 rounds to 2, I don't really know what to say. Definitely he didn't win the fight. I had it 115, 111 like the judge. Was it Glenn Feldman who scored it? 115, 111? I'm not sure. It was one of them anyway. But that scorecard I inclined to agree with. The best rounds for Lopez were really the 9th and the 10th. The 8 round as well to an extent, but that was a more nip and tuck round. But they were his rounds to win. The 9th and the 10th, they were his definitive rounds. And again, credit to Kambosos coming back from a real tough 10th round. Very, very big up to him. So that's my thoughts on this. Let me know your thoughts. What are your thoughts on Lopez saying 10 rounds to 2 he felt he won? As I said, not even elastic can stretch that far. Let me know yours and thoughts in the comment section. If you could smash the like button, comment, let me know your thoughts. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the all notification bell, helps your boy out. For now, lads and lassies, I'll talk to you. Peace.